Hello and welcome back to another episode, a review and commentary of the anime. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Episode number 19, Charybdis. And by the way, I want to start off. I'm trying to I want to start off with a quick note. I am recording early just because the last 2 weeks I've been later and later, so I'm actually trying to get this one out the day the episode come out. Second thing is, I'm a little under the weather. I've got a little bit of a sinus problems lately, which is, a mixed blessing. I guess between having the flu, the flu is rampant, so I don't have the flu or nothing, but I do have a little bit of a head coldy sinus. In other words, my voice sounds a little bit different. At the time I'm recording this, I might try to edit it out so it won't sound that wonky. But if I sound a little bit different, that's why. Which is bizarre because everybody else has got the flu, and I've got which I don't want the flu, but I've got a lot of sinus issues, which is weird because it's like winter, but evidently you can have sinus issues year round, especially with this hot cold. 1 week it's one week it's a blizzard, and the next week it's like a heat wave. So wonky weather. Anyway, just a note in passing. So if I sound a little bit different, that's why. Okay, let's get this ball rolling. Like I mentioned in the past, the past two episodes have been kind of like setup episodes. Literally preparing for this battle, which was awesome. I really enjoyed this episode. It showcases everyone, showcasing new abilities, new battle moves, everything. It was just really everybody was on showcase in this episode. It was an all-out battle, and I was really impressed with this episode from beginning to end. It was awesome. Sound effects, special effects, everything just worked in this episode. It had everything. It had comedy. That's why I love this anime. It's got everything that I enjoy and love about anime. And as we start, we can see the ogres. They start off fighting right off the bat. Boom, and Rimuru and his gang. They knew that Charybdis was coming, and the silver metallic Megalodons, they're floating toward them, and they start taking them out, they don't waste any time. They just go full power. We've already seen kind of these moves before. I'll get some of the new ones in a minute. I just love seeing, this, the Megalodons they're really intimidating looking, and they just kind of take them out. Boof. They're gone, one by one. And you get to see the ogres, the lizardmen. Everybody really gets in on the action on this one. It's they slowly, one by one, which is even more ironic because they were kind of bitter enemies. Most of these people at one point in past animes, and now they're working alongside each other and congratulating each other. Thanks, you got my back. As they're defeating these megalodons. And one of them, Gadaru, he more or less, he's really being a badass in this episode. I gotta hand it down to him. He has some fighting skills, and he's taking out some of these megalodons. And the only one that I thought was hilarious, I didn't really mind because I've kind of defended him in the past, was the goblins. All the goblins, they've been kind of powered up and doing really well in the last recent episodes. Like Gabaton. Especially Gabata, they more or less are used as not scapegoat, distraction pieces, and they more or less are overwhelmed by these. They're stronger than they were, and I'm impressed with them. But in this episode, they're clearly out of their league, and the ogres had to help them. And I like the thing that really got me was Milim with her begging Rimuru every 5 minutes, please let me fight. And the thing that really made me bust out laughing is she does this old school 90s 2000 the flashy eye thing, the Sailor Moony look. Or it reminds me the way she's got her hands. She does there was this old movie. Well, it's not that old, but Shrek. The Shrek 2 or 3, I can't remember. It's the cat. He does that little please. That's the look she has. It's so funny. It's yeah, just, and Ramiro's just not amused, stop, please stop, please stop, please stop asking. Which is even funnier later. So, but I thought that was really cool, and we get to see some new things. Ranga and evidently Chiron have one, Ranga's flying, and two, they've teamed up. Which I'm not the only one that noticed that, because I was like, about the time I was thinking that to myself, Rimuru in the episode, and more or less makes the comment like, "Wait, when did they team up?" Like, they were all like everybody was amazed, like, "Wait, when did he fly? When did they team up?" Like, they had the same comment. It's like the anime. It's like the anime was commenting on the very thing that I was at the same time. I thought that was actually kind of funny, and just the way it was like just. Me personally, I don't know if anybody else like did the same thing. Like, when did he fly? Like, by the way, I want to make a quick note as I'm glad Milim is back in her little copper tone outfit. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up the old copper tone ad. You know, it was famous for showing the little girl's butt on the cover. You know, that was like their little iconic image. And Milim kind of strikes me, even though she's a young woman. It's still, she shows her butt a lot, so she's got that like, I like to show my butt, like, who wears short shirts? I do. Like, lately she's had like a schoolgirl outfit, like kind of like a bunch of little other outfits, and this episode, like, she puts on her battle gear. It's like, it's time to show my butt, like, it's action time, like, and she's clearly begging, like, Rimuru, like, just like literally begging him, please let me fight. But she doesn't, clearly she doesn't have to ask his permission. She can just like go in there and fight. But she really, I think, wants to please him. This is her best friend. I don't know if she's ever had a true friend, because she really wants to be friends with him. She really wants to impress. It's almost like a boyfriend-girlfriend thing. They're not like that, but it's almost like that. Like, she's really wanting to impress him, like almost that mentality. I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe she just, maybe she's, I don't think that's right. It's not romantic, but it is kind of like she really wants to impress him. She really wants to be friends with him. She wants to impress him. She don't want to like, if he says something, she don't want to go against it, because she doesn't want him mad at her. And because she really wants to stay around him, and she likes staying around his people. So I think it's just more to that. Because like I said, if she decided, like, told Rimuru, like, go to hell, I'm gonna go take this guy out, like, there's really not, as we see in a minute, there's really nobody in there that could stop her. And we can see pretty much, the Ranga and the ogres, they more or less are overwhelmed. This thing, the Charybdis starts spitting out these like little flowery things. It reminds me, like, on Bleach, what's the guy that had the cherry blossoms? It could flow all around, like his sword would turn like into like I cannot remember that. It's been a while since I've seen it, but he was one of the Soul Reapers, and he would like flip his sword in like these like little like blade things. So that's kind of what he's doing here. They're like these blades, and they replicate. He can like shoot them like endlessly. It's really tearing up everybody. I mean, it's like, yeah, just boom, 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 like, and like taking slash marks, and they're taking like massive damage. And it gets so bad that like Rimuru has to step in, more or less absorb it. And he's like, "Hey guys, step back. Like, you done a good job, but I got this." And he absorbs it the first time, and he starts going on an attack, and I thought that was pretty cool. His little like these little beams he's shooting out. He's doing a lot of damage, it seems like, but even he's having trouble with this thing. I mean, he's like, even says like some comments like, "Ow, that hurt." Like, this thing's actually hurting me a little bit. Like he's having a little bit of trouble dealing with Charybdis. He's not really trouble. He's just, it's not that Charybdis could take him out, but at the same time, he can't take, they're I guess they're kind of dead even, about power level wise, but they can't take each other out, and it really can't hurt each other. But he wants to take him out so he won't keep killing his people and destroying his land, and he really doesn't have the power to do that here. And so they come up with the idea to more or less like everybody joining you. Oh, that's the other thing. He figures out that it takes like 3 minutes for him to regenerate his blades and everything. So he comes with the idea that, hey, look, I can take this guy out in a 3-minute, take this guy out in a 3-minute, time zone. That's a good. That's our hot spot to go take this guy out, and they'll throw everything at him. And they throw everything at him, and the whole team's just like, bah, 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 like full on everything they got, and they're only able to do about 30% damage. And he's more or less like sitting there looking around, like it's kind of like a down period, and like everybody's like all damaged. He's looking around, surveying like all his people, and like, man, we're getting our asses kicked. We can't keep this up. And more or less, like the Charybdis is like, like kind of mumbles something like, "Milim, I hate you," or something like, and like wait, Rimiru's like, what the hell? Like, he's like, did you just say something? So he quickly realizes and analyzes, and like he figures out, like, wait, not after me, it's after Milim. Like he gets all embarrassed, like, ah. Oh. So he's after. I thought, well, this is my fight. Nope, not my fight. So and he's like, Milim, like Milim's over here taking a nap, and she fell asleep. She is completely bored, like. And he has to wake her up, and she's like, wait, I was watching. Look, really, hey, you guys are like, hey, good job. Like, she was bored. And we'll see why in a minute. I mean, she was really bored. I mean, it was like, it was like watching it was like watching an NFL player, like, take on, like, a preschooler. Like, it's like, at some point, this is no longer amusing. This is kind of embarrassing. I mean, she still considered them some friends, but at the same time, she was bored. So she's sitting there, like, just taking a nap, like a little kid, like, like up against a tree. That was hilarious. He wakes her up. She's like, what? I was watching. He's like, no, you weren't. Like, no, you're. Even the monster's like, nope. You were bored. It was hilarious. Like, right in the middle of battle, they're like, no, you weren't watching. Well, she hops up, like he more or less tells her, like, hey, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I thought he was here for me. He's here for you. Hey, go for it. Go and take this guy out. And she's like, sweet. So she's like all into it, and she goes right off the bat. Like, the guy starts trying to use that little thing, little fish flower thingy, blade thing. She goes into like a Drago attack. I wish I wrote that down. It was like Drago attack or something. Drago Blast. I think that's what they call it. And it is indeed a Drago Blast. I mean, it's like a one. Oh, that's the thing. Rimuru take the Charybdis out, and they figure out that, what's his name's that? Phobio. So it's, take him out, but don't kill him. And sure enough, she does. I mean, she goes full out and like this mega blast and like obliterates like within 5 seconds. And you can tell this battle has went on all day. And in a couple of seconds, she's like annihilated, and then even helped back some of her power. She says, restraint. That's what she calls it. Our power. I'm going to show her a little restraint. And then like even Rimuru is like, damn, that's like you holding back and restraining. Like, wow. And like the body kind of goes tossed over, and like Rimuru catches it, and he's all charred and like obliterated. And Milim's like, yeah, doing like a victory like thing, like did it. Well, Rimuru like more or less like, absorbs and takes away and eats away at the thing that was turning into the Charybdis. I don't forget what it's called, but he more or less absorbs it and is analyzing it. So maybe at some point, since he absorbed that, maybe he'll level up a little bit more, because he just absorbed a pretty powerful monster. But so they really didn't reveal a great deal on that. But obviously, at some point, that might kind of level him up a little bit. Because I notice every time he does that, he levels up. So, and obviously this was a kind of a disaster class monster. So he just absorbed a disaster class monster. So maybe that leveled him up a little bit more. Again, they wouldn't say much, but other than the fact that he absorbed it. And this dude, I don't forget his. So many characters, I'm forgetting. They get. Crap! I can't remember his name. Anyway, him. The dwarf, second command, he more or less is like, he has trouble believing, like, he just thinks that Milim is like a weapon, a secret weapon. He refuses to acknowledge the fact that she's a demon lord. I don't know. That was just kind of. I don't know if he was like playing dumb, like he just really didn't want to report. I feel like he didn't hear what he heard because maybe the other kingdom didn't want to know about the fact that he's got Milim there, or if he just truly was like just kind of like, yeah, right. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I don't know why you're calling her that, but that's clearly not a demon king, Like, and even Milim was getting upset, so I don't know what the deal was with that, but I just thought that was kind of funny. And he goes back and gives his report, and they really get to comparing notes in this, and like, sure enough, they figure out that Tyr and Footman, and even what do you call them? Comparing notes, and pretty much figure out that this ain't the first time that that the Tyr and Footman and Clayman they realize that they're all like more or less like out scheming and doing all the trouble they've had lately is they were directly involved in some way somehow in getting the ball rolling. Yeah, and it pretty much everything starts to add up. That these guys are pretty much like one causing all the problems, and before they can really by the way, Trainee also was there, and she figures out, she's interested, and like, again, she's like pops up right at the right time because she's always listening. So watch what you say around the plants, watch what you do and say, because they are watching all the time. They're like the big brother of like this world, which is kind of creepy when you really stop and think about it on multiple levels. But. And by the way, that shot right there is why I love this anime. It's got everything I love. Comedy, sexiness, cool characters, and just the right hint, of like sexy comedy. It's just, yeah, it's like, that shot never gets old. If they made an action figure out of that, I would probably put that on a desk or something. This is, that Chiron, like, slime boob pillow thing. It is hilarious. Anyway, and more or less, she more or less fills in. Like I said, Clayman is at the root of all this, and like she even confirms to Rimuru that Milim does that. Clayman is he's a schemer. He's probably he's up to something. And they more or less forgive Phobio, and like they're all good. And like, he's like amazed, like, what, you forgive me? Like, dude, I was about to like kill everybody and like obliterate everything. Like, he's like, nope. And yeah, once again, it's yes, 1,000 reasons why I love this anime, and I just love Milim. She's an awesome little character. Milim is an awesome young lady that Milim is an awesome female character I enjoy in this anime. Those two right there, those make this anime just even better to watch every week. Anyway, I know that's true. It's one of the reasons I actually love this anime more. And more or less this guy shows up, and Demon Lord, and he shows up, and I cannot remember his name. I'm drawing a complete blank. I wish I wrote that down. Like I said, there's so many characters. Anyway, he more or less shows up and signs a agreement with Rimuru, and he just signed. He more or less says a verbal contract, like, hey, we're friends now. Because more or less he gives him like a thing. It's like, hey, what? I owe you. I've been all that. Haven't been really watching my people. Like, I am so embarrassed. Like, hey, my bad. I owe you. And more or less Rimuru says, you know what? I'd like to have a pact with you, like more or less, like let's be friends. And like more or less, the guy's like, that's all you want? Like, sure, done. Hey, I agree not to attack you, and you agree not to attack me. Like, hey, we're good. And that's pretty much how the anime ends. It's like the guy's pretty friendly, like pretty cool. Like, you know what? Hey, cool. So and I think he says that he's an animal something demon lord, and I wish I wrote that down. But anyway, that's pretty much how the anime ends. He throws the guy over his shoulder, Phobio, and like, kind of walks away, and and just like, hey, we're good. And more or less, Rimuru says, like, hey, let's go home. Like, it's time to party. Let's go. You know, they've been through a massive battle all day, and, like, well, except for Milim, Milim took a nap. It was in the battle for, like, 5 seconds. So, but otherwise, you know, it's a pretty good battle. And it was a good battle episode, and everything, like, all the elements I enjoy in this anime, the comedy, all the action, I mean, everything, you know, the sexiness, like, everything was in this, so I really enjoyed this anime, the episode. Looking forward to the next episode, as always, with the and with the show. Always, I'm always looking forward to the next episode. Anyway, if you like a review and commentary for this episode, and you go back and look at some of the other episodes I've done, and I've been noticing I got 1 or 2 more subscribers lately, so. Now, I hope you enjoyed this review and commentary, and remember, please to like and subscribe, and that's all till next time. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope I don't sound too wonky. Anyway, that's all for now. Catch you next time. Later.